I once believed that I could solve any problem. And if I didn't know an answer, I'd find it eventually. But once I got locked up and got sentenced, it became clear to me that my kind of thinking was just my ego talking. The truth was, I was good at helping others, but had no clue how to help myself. At the Daytona racetrack, as those incredibly well-tuned machines roar around the track, and day changes to night, and back to day again, every single car needs stops to get out of a race for a time. They call them pit stops. Even the greatest of those race cars can't make it without those stops. And often, those adjustments are more important to the car than the shape it was in initially. And the same applies to me. I'm at my own pit stop in prison. When I got to prison, I started doubting myself. I started letting my fears consume me. I started thinking, this is who I am. This is what I'm supposed to be. But I had to learn that if you want change in your life, then you need to be prepared to change. For me, prison has been an important journey. Otherwise, I would have had to wait 38 years before I could start my life again. When I got to prison, I started doubting myself. I started letting my fears consume me. I started thinking, this is who I am. This is what I'm supposed to be. Opportunity is low in prison, and violence is high. I had to learn to show my strength through intelligence. There are mental patients everywhere, gangs, racism, but worse than that, it is just being frozen in time. Mahatma Gandhi wrote, you could chain me, you could torture me, you can even destroy my body, but you will never imprison my mind. So every night for weeks, I would tell myself until I fell asleep, my body is in prison, but my mind is free. I started reading anything and everything that related to incarceration. I found out things about our prison system and discovered that it has swollen to such gigantic proportions. It's larger than the entire university system in this country. I read that it costs $10,000 more to send somebody to prison than it does to send them to an Ivy League college. We've outstripped every country in the terms of the number of people we incarcerate, but yet the quality of our public education lags behind other countries. It's like America is world champion when it comes to locking people up, but yet when it comes to giving people the skills, hope, and knowledge to pursue other alternatives, we seem to get worse each year. I also read many stories of people who came home from prison and became successful. I realized that these people accomplished such stunning life changes and subsequent victories because they never gave up on the idea that they had the right to be unreasonably happy. And that's when I knew and believed that I had the right and ability to recreate my own life. I learned that hope and belief are all you need to move forward toward any goal. Hope, the most powerful precursor to belief. Why? Because even for the most hard and cynical, hope gives us the right attitude to be able to believe again. And now, belief is something we all carry with us. To be honest, it's scary to believe in ourselves because none of us want to be hurt by taking a chance. And that's when those old habitual voices of doubt start to creep in and push us back to our old ways. I quickly learned that the more I substitute new plans, new beliefs, new ideas, new thoughts, the easier believing became. In a unique way, belief is like a muscle I had to learn and build and train. I use small words and phrases to reiterate trust in myself, like, I can do whatever I set my mind to. Alamonte, I'm capable of turning things around. My attitude now impacts my future. Your belief is one thing that can't be poisoned by jail time. No one can destroy it. Learning to believe in myself is an exhaustible source of power that is accessible to all of us, no matter our circumstances. A shocking truth I read is that if you tell a person they are stupid, the same person does worse on a test than if you said nothing. And if you tell a person they are a criminal, they are more likely to commit a crime. And on a more positive note, if you tell a person they are smart, the same person does better on the test. I realized that the most important thing is what I actually believe myself to be. My current situation in prison is constantly trying to convince me what to believe, but I know it doesn't have to be that way. So one night that turned into many nights, I asked myself, am I willing to be courageous and vulnerable enough to believe that I will be great and do positive things in this world? Once I realized the power of belief was waiting inside of me like a hidden treasure, my next thought was learning how to access it. What will I use the power for? Will I use it to envision a new future for myself? Once I surrendered to belief, I knew nothing, and I mean nothing, can stop me from building a happy life that is specific to me. I realized that I could build that life within these prison walls. As my belief got stronger, and I learned to channel my negative energy into positive energy and belief, it's like I created my own kind of momentum that brought forth everything I planned and decided to do. I told myself, I believe in you, and that belief got stronger every day. The path from one place to another often isn't always a straight line. We tend to believe that it's going to be simple from here to there, but we end up with unforeseen detours and unanticipated delays. But one thing I know is we hold up by keeping our destination in mind. And shockingly, some of these detours bring us benefits, such as me coming to prison, providing me time to improve mentally and to write about my life experiences. We all want to be innocent until proven guilty. In prison, we go on and on about the same thing. Being here is unjust. Over and over, we point out we either framed or done wrong. In some cases, it's true. But I slowly but surely realized that I couldn't go on with that thinking any longer. Anytime those sticky thoughts arise in me, I only had one answer. Whatever, Lamonte. If you don't forget about your regretful past, you'll keep on reliving it. It's not like you drown by falling in the water. You drown by staying there. And I refuse to stay. It wasn't until I let go of who I thought I was that I was able to create a completely new life. It wasn't until I let go of the life that I thought I should have that I was able to embrace the life that was waiting for me. I now know that my real strength never came from my body. And even though my physical capabilities have changed dramatically, who I am is unchanged. The light inside of me is still a light, just as it is in each and every one of us. And with all that being said, I'm going to close with this. How can the blind lead the blind? Which is me. I'm not talking about my form, my composition, but the mental me you see. To call myself blind at this stage, you probably think it's silly of me. But when you can see the most important things about life that most people refuse to see, I say this because even though my education was taken in by me individually, how can I not look into the eyes of my elders and youth and visually see me? So yes, I'm included in that blind. How can I pretend not to be? Even those who read or hear this poem, I must say that it was written and heard by me. So look deep within yourself and tell me what you see. And if the Bible was right in the beginning and we were made in his image, by the way, what is his image if it's not that of me? So stop saying me if you don't respect we. As a matter of fact, turn the we upside down and tell me and we, what do you really see? And then I'll be able to say that I'm not blind at all. Thank you.